What's up, y'all? It's your homeboy, whatever, man. Man, I'm just out here on the road, driving to Chicago to drop something off. Thought I'd pop up and talk real quick. You know, a quick little real talk on the road. You know what I'm saying? What I want to talk about today was basically these chumps, these punks, these suckers that's out here, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you like what comes to mind or what made me want to talk about this. So my son was on a soccer team, locally here, little league soccer, 8th graders. Well, actually it was middle school kids, but he was in 8th grade. And the season started out, soccer coach, doing his thing or whatever, out there coaching. And we get to the end of the season. So there's one game left in the season, and then, playoffs or potential playoffs. The team started out, they lost the first couple games of the season. I think we lost the first 3 or 4 games of the season. And then the team started to come together and, they started to play better, right? So, again, we're one game left in the regular season and then potential playoffs. Well, apparently the game, before the final game, the soccer coach during the week between the two games had a falling out with one of the parents. Now, I wasn't at practice that day. My son had something else to do, so we actually missed that practice. And there was the coach, had us all sign up to an app, and that's how he communicated the schedule, updates, etc. Well, we missed this particular practice, and the coach sends out a message, and he says, basically, that there was an incident in practice, between him and a parent, and how he wouldn't, tolerate being disrespected, and that's not what this was all about, et cetera, et cetera. But then he goes on to say that he would no longer be the coach of the team, right? So basically, we're at the end of the road here, and he abandons the team with one game left in the season because he has a falling out, with somebody. Now, my thought was, because he said he had reported it to the league or whatever. So my thought was, maybe somebody threatened him, or you might. I figured it was one of them things where the parent didn't either like something that the coach said to his kid, or maybe, parents like to overstep their boundaries sometime, and they want to put their little spin on the coaching or on how the team plays. So they act like they're a coach. They want to tell the coach they're doing stuff wrong, do this, that, and the other, etc. The ones that get in the way and don't let the coach do their job. So, I'm thinking it's something like that. But you can't quit on the team at the last second, right? So, basically, there were 2 parents who stepped up to coach the team for the last game, and would also coach the team should we make the playoffs, right? So the coach also, his son was on the team. So the last game of the season, they won. New coaches show up, they win. The coach nowhere to be found. His son, I can't remember if his son played in the final game of the season or not. But they won, we make the playoffs, right? So then here comes, the playoff game. Well, actually, before we get to the playoff game, so here comes the old coach in the app that we're using to communicate. You know, here he comes popping up. Oh, great job, team, this, that, and the other, you know, like trying to root the team on. And, you know, it's not like the kids are reading this. This is the parents, you know what I'm saying? So he comes in there all rah-rah because the team had made the playoffs and stuff like that. Mind you, they made the playoffs without you because you quit on them. So nobody really responded to him. You know, his comment was in there or whatever. So here we come. You know, now we're at the next week. We're at the playoff game. So it's time for the playoff game. He's at the game. And, you know, I didn't pay it no mind. I mean, of course, what's wrong with, even though he quit on the team, what's wrong with him coming out and supporting his son? You know what I'm saying? I'm a father, I understand, you know, regardless of the circumstances, I'm going to be out there supporting my son. What I did like about him being out there, though, is, of course, he's running up and down the sideline. You know, there's all the parents that are sitting there. Well, he's behind everybody going one end of the field to the other, yelling stuff out, trying to coach the players, telling them what to do, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was funny because I'm like, you know, he's not just, it's one thing to just be out there rooting on the team, cheering for your son. It's another thing to try to step into the role that you abandoned after somebody else stepped up to the plate because you left the kids hanging. But, you know, no big deal, I guess. You know, coach is going to coach if he can. Maybe it's just in his blood, you know. Maybe he's like the parent that he fell out with that was trying to give tips and pointers and all that. You know, he just got the need to feel like he's coaching or whatever. But this is what gets me, right? Is the game is over and, you know, we're all walking back to the car and they won, you know, so we're all walking back to our cars or whatever. And the coach goes to say something to my son, you know, about how well he played or whatever, which was cool, you know, no problem. I'm sorry. And we're talking about the old coach, right? No problem. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. But I happen to notice, you know, I look down because I see the holster for a gun sticking out from underneath his shirt. And sure enough, me and my wife both noticed it, and we looked at each other. And we kind of gave each other this look. And sure enough, this dude is carrying a gun. So all of a sudden, now mind you, we're at a public park where I thought they were weapon-free zones where you couldn't even carry your gun. But he's got his gun, he's open carrying at a kid's soccer game after he talked all this stuff about not being disrespected, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? You take it upon yourself to show up at a little league soccer game with your damn pistol? Like, what's wrong with these people, man? Like, number one, like, you're supposed to be the coach. What example, or, you know, the old coach, you were their coach. They looked up to you for X amount of games this season. What kind of example are you setting for these kids? There ain't nobody else at these games with no guns. And if they are, they're concealed. You know, so, and, you know, I'm sure somebody that, one of these gun-toting people got their gun there. I mean, I got my concealed carry, and Ohio is an open carry state. However, I don't take my gun to my son's baseball games. I don't take him to his soccer games. And if it does go with us, it's locked in the glove box or the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not carrying it around. But, you know, because it's a peaceful place. You out there, the kids are playing. You know, there ain't no reason for anybody to get in a fight, let alone shoot somebody. So this dude is so scared of this parent that he's out here open carrying his gun at the Little League soccer game, man. Like, I just really thought that was a bitch ass move, man. I'm like, we got to the car, me and my wife was talking, man. First thing I said, is he's a punk ass nigga, man. He's a sucker. Like, for real, for real. Like, to me, there's no excuse for that, man. And that just tells you how soft this generation is. You know, these younger cats, because he's younger. You know, he ain't young. I mean, he's probably like late 20s, early 30s. So, I mean, he's at least 10 to 15 years younger than I am. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I lost all respect for dude over that. And then they make it to the championship, right? Now, whatever parent he fell out with, we know who it was, because those kids, you know, that guy and his kids never showed up to the last couple games. So, you clearly done got him banned. He's not out there. Now you show up to this game, you got your stuff on you. You know, coast is clear. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's bothering you, nobody's talking trash to you. It's just like any other game. Don't you know this chump shows up to the next game with the damn pistol again? You know, everybody wants to act big and bad. He's in the little app, you know, talking mad stuff about what he won't tolerate, what he won't put up with. So what? I mean, was you just gonna shoot the dude if he showed up or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Which we know that wasn't gonna be the case. He was only gonna shoot the dude if dude, you know, tried to get smart with him. Because obviously he's a pussy and he ain't gonna fight. But that's just the mentality of these younger people out here these days, man. And me, I don't understand it, man. You know, that's the type of thing, man. You talk it out. If you can't talk it out, you fight it out. You know, square up. But that's not the way of the world anymore, man. You know, you ain't safe nowhere. You never know where these pussy ass people gonna show up at. They're amongst you. You might not know it until they got a reason to show you that they basically pussies and chumps and don't want to fight, can't defend themselves, scared of people. You know, it's sad, man, and that's the society we live in these days, man. But I'm curious, man, you know, what's y'all's thoughts, man? What do you think of the coach showing up to the last two games of the season, former coach at this point, with a pistol at a Little League soccer game? It's your homeboy, whatever, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm gone.